Also, this type of so-called Negro, by being intoxicated over the white man, he never sees beyond the white man. He never sees beyond America. He never looks at himself or where he fits into things on the world stage. He only can see himself here in America, on the American stage or the white stage, where the white man is in the majority, where the white man is the boss. So this type of Negro always feels like he's outnumbered, or he's the underdog, or he's the minority. And it puts him in the role of a beggar, cowardly, humble, Uncle Tom and beggar on anything that he says is that should be his by right. Whereas there is, when it comes, he wants to be an American rather than to be black. He wants to be something other than what he is. And knowing that America is a white country, he knows he can't be black and be an American too. So he never calls himself black. He calls himself an American Negro, a Negro in America. And usually he'll deny his own race, his own color, just to be a second-class American. He'll deny his own history, his own culture. He'll deny all of his brothers and sisters in Africa, in Asia, in the East, just to be a second-class American. He denies everything that he represents, or that everything that was in his past, just to be accepted into a country and into a government that has rejected him ever since he was brought here. Well, this Negro is sick. He has to be sick to try and force himself among some people who don't want him, or to be accepted into a government that has used its entire political system and educational system to keep him relegated to the role of a second-class citizen. And therefore, he spends a lifetime begging for acceptance into the same government that made slaves of his people. He gives his life for a country that made his people slaves and still confines them to the role of second-class citizens. And we feel that he wastes his time because he hasn't been trained to defend himself. He has only been trained to open up his mouth in defense of his master. He hasn't been educated, he's been trained. When a man is educated, he can think for himself and defend himself and speak for himself. He doesn't even know where his government is because he doesn't know that he ever had one. He doesn't know.
What is good, my people? We are live back again with another live broadcast. And I got my brother Ben on here. And first and foremost, you know what I'm saying, before we get into it, I gotta say, I ain't trying to cut my brother Bakari off. I know I had asked my brother Ben to come here, so I know he gotta go soon. So, we gonna try to get it all in in about like an hour or so. So what I'm saying? I just wanted to come on here and so my bad if I'm cutting, my brother off or anything like that. But yo, what's going on, my brother Ben? Yo, Ben, you there? I can't hear you. Yo, Ben. All right, I'm not hearing Ben. I'm not sure what's going on. But anyway, it's been a while since we did a tech show, you know what I'm saying? So I wanted to bring my brother Ben back here, you know what I'm saying, so we can go over some things because listen, man, we are behind in a lot of categories and we don't have power in anything, we don't control anything, you know what I'm saying? And it starts with us building and controlling the things that we build and not giving it up, you know what I'm saying? Not just selling it away to anybody and getting our kids interested in, in the tech field and STEM, so that we can be creators, so that we can build these satellites that we need, so that we can build radios, ham radios to the FM radios, to television, control our television stations, you know what I'm saying? Or in these African countries, we can boost the signal of the internet because we are in control of our own frequency waves, But all of this starts with being upfront in the tech field, Ben Uko, I'm not sure what's going on with your mic. Can you hear me? I'm not sure, Ben. You might have to. I can't hear you. What's going on, Cassandra? Yeah. So Ben might have to drop out and come back on. You know what I'm saying? So some of the things that we want to go over, is black owned tech manufacturers that produce products, things that we can support right now, and the kind of industry we can get into. Yo, what's going on, Ben? You can hear me? All right, your device is not connected right now.
Here? Can you hear?
Yeah, I hear you now, Ben.
Okay, guys, how's everybody doing today?
All right, how you doing, Ben? Oh yeah, go ahead and introduce yourself, my brother.
Yeah, so my name is Ben Yuko. I'm with Zowanti Media Enterprises. We're here to talk about black tech stuff here in Minnesota. I'm just focusing on Minnesota. Black tech is gonna grow in a national level sooner or later. But right now I just want to focus on the stuff here in Minnesota right now, how to get black people in the tech field. Today I'm going to be showing you some of the latest stuff that a lot of people just haven't been knowing. So there are people moving, but we have to know how to get there. Hold on.
Yeah, exactly, Cassandra. You know what I'm saying? With a purpose, on purpose and with a purpose, and with the right mindset. Because it don't matter what we have them doing if they don't have the right mindset. If we just giving away all of our achievements, it's for nothing. So, we want them to have the right mindset with the education. So yeah, go ahead, Ben.
Yeah, so that's basically I'm just doing the opening statements right now, and then we're going to get down to the topics today that I mentioned in the email to you.
Yeah, yep.
So give me 1 second again. All right, go ahead.
All right, yeah. So and before we do that, I'm not really like, so what's going on with Zone 103? You want to put that out there, or
Yeah,
you
the
want
website is down right now. I am in middle of conflict right now with some folks that are not doing their job up with the funding and the because we wanted they wanted like the vested in Bitcoin. Let me ask you this: if someone tells you to take money out of your account and you're overdraft and you're negative, will you do that?
well, I would say no. It depends on how much you believe in that thing. If you think it's going a sure thing, then I mean I would take a risk. But if not, I would have to be real sure about that thing for me to do it.
Yeah,
But
right.
I would say no.
Because banks can charge that. So
Yeah.
this company is like putting into BS. So they're kind of bullshitting. Like, how you gonna overdraft an account and then you tell me, oh, if you don't do it, we're gonna put the charge. Actually, I can put that charge on you. I go with that charge as you. I'm black and I'm disabled. I'm a vulnerable adult. So no, you can't do that. And I asked you numerous times to do not do that, and you didn't care. And there's a long story back up, so it's gonna take but eventually the website will be up and stuff. And yes, we're gonna talk. We're gonna get a lot of things to talk about today. The progress that I think we have made. So here in Minnesota, we have three organizations. Like there's like three organizations right now. We have the Black Tech Talent, which is founded by Mike Jackson. So you can go to blacktechtalent.org. That's where black people can get to their talent. So I'm gonna do a screen share
Okay.
so I can show you guys the. You guys see?
Yeah, it's up now.
So there's some Tech Talent. So this is the page, blacktechtalent.org. So it shows you find a job, post a job, community. It has the podcast up here. It it shows you what episodes they've done so far. So this is their latest episode. They had Ricky Collins, they had Pierre Young. They have numerous people that they already have already in black professionals in black tech. But they also got black entrepreneurs too. It's like this Ricky Collins is like he's from Pack House Live. So let me show you that. Let me show you Pack. So he built it's a great live extreme platform that he built. That's for us. For us, so he did like a sit down economy, but you can record your content, schedule your stream, promote your stream, sell the stream, enjoy stream with your fans, and profit. So you can do all that in one platform. Ain't that amazing? That's controlled by us, and you're reaping all the money. Because people gotta understand that YouTube makes you pay a percentage. Like you don't get they almost like keep all the pie of your content, even you make money off of it. So it makes no sense that you having that.
Hey Ben, so you saying like this is like a kind of like a YouTube channel that's black owned?
Yes.
Okay. Can you show it one more time? Like why you talking about it?
Yeah. So let me show you. So this is you all see?
Yeah, it's showing now.
Yeah. So we have groups like this. Another group I'm going to show you is Rankpire. Black owned. So it gives you design for black gamers, but they have other people, but it's black owned. So it's not affiliated. So you can do so. So this is play against very skill level gamers and prove you're the best. So build your empire. So it shows you everything that you are doing in black tech. So it shows you all the game competitorship and everything. So I'm going to show you more throughout. I'm going to show everybody more throughout the broadcast today. But
Yeah.
so let's get down what I wanted to talk about here today. Let me get back to the email here. Hopefully I'm sharing it. Okay. Let me get back to the email that I sent to you. You sent to me yesterday. So
Yeah, the first thing I don't know if you want to talk about that first. Black owned tech manufacturers for products.
yeah, that's going to be one of the. Let's start with that one. I think that's one of the big topics that really needs to be talked about. I feel like what really lacks in it is really the discussion of the math and sciences. I know forecast. I know Ricard. We've been talking about and the proficiency. So back in August, I did a presentation on the math proficiency. Do you know that 18% of black students are proficient in this is our kids. 18% are proficient in math. Right now here in Minneapolis school in the Twin Cities. That is this is very problematic. So I'm just looking up. Sorry about that, guys. So that's kind of like it is. So I gotta find that article quick.
You said it about math.
Yeah. Oh, this recently just came out. I'm gonna read this. I'm gonna read this article to you guys. I hope we all are we are here. Here we go. All right, here.
Can you share it?
Yep, I'm gonna share it now.
Okay. Okay, you on there?
Yep, Minnesota's eighth graders register worst math scores in Desmond on a national exam. Experts said this year's high school freshmen are at stark disadvantage if they're looking to pursue careers in the fields of science, technology, engineering, and math. Minnesota students score on a national math and reading exam administered in 4th and 8th grade last spring show a steep slide in student performance and some of the worst results in decades. Well, yeah, because pre-COVID stuff is because you want to teach something. You don't want we don't want to pursue our kids into these skills. We always want to pursue them in the football and basketball and put more investments in that to get in without looking at these scores. It's all about like getting the grades. It's all about, are they proficient? What's our projection in the future? That's what we have to talk about here. The results released at that Monday by the National Assessment of Education Performance shows drops in student proficiency across the country. No state saw gain. That saw continues trend as we began in 2007 prior to the COVID, said Kevin Burns, the spokesman for the Minnesota Department. We expect a decline, but given the distress that everyone experienced during the pandemic, well, no, they were doing it before. It's just the pandemic helped contribute to these scores. But that doesn't mean the results are easy to see. He wrote email, why Minnesota students outpace national scores. We must work diligently to take necessary steps to help all students grades achieve. Okay. Hold on out. I'm gonna give you another article. I think here. This came out back in August. So they because the last time I read this is our scores right here, right now. This is in, so it went up a little bit. This is 2000. So not as much. So this is our math proficiency. 18%, it went 27 to 18, and then a little bit to 20%. You guys see that? Y'all seen that problem? How are we gonna get strong manufacturing skills when we don't understand like the hard math? Bar Forecast, you want to comment?
No, man, you absolutely right. These are, and these are the problems that we have to start with the basics. And the issue is a lot of our kids, before they even know what science is, math is, like they're in school, like, oh, I'm terrible at math, I'm bad at science. But they don't even know if they're good or bad at it because they're not even getting to the crazy part. Because if we ever go on to have to have weapons to defend ourselves, to web pages to express ourselves, or leagues to play on and play it on TV, we're gonna have to know simple math and complicated math, like Ben is talking about. We're gonna have to know science. We're gonna have to get into these fields. So yeah, I'm just listening to the presentation, my brother.
Yeah, so that one of the things that a lot of people how many people in the room right now hearing this conversation? Probably not a lot.
Yeah, not a lot, but it's people here though. But and then I know I want to let my brother Coco, because he's trying to do the same thing too. So I know he probably want to come on, ask questions or say something. So
Yeah, let him
after
come on. Let's let him come on.
okay, all right. So yeah, I still want you to keep
I
going
hope
with your
MJ2
presentation
is
though.
listening. MJ2 is listening.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure if not, he'll listen to it on the playback. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Right,
So let's continue.
yeah.
So why do I bring this up? Well, I bring it up because we have to start understanding that if you want to start manufacturing, you can't just build an app all the time. You got to start building on the foundation. Building an app is just giving a service. So the only way, you got to understand between a service and production and manufacturing, and I feel like that's where the black tech really lacks. Is the product? I might talk about some different trending topics a little bit, but if you really want to get into tech, yeah, start out there, but you gotta go like the engineering routes. You gotta go to that, and that's where my main goal is to get to for me is to get to the desktop support engineer that requires a lot of math. So I'll be ready. because it's there, but I gotta refresh my skills in it. That's why I do those shows. So that's what's very, very important. So everybody needs to be prepared for these type of skills in the maths and sciences. So that's why it's so important as we go talk about when we do black owned manufacturing. That's gonna be the skills we're gonna need. We're gonna also need like builders that can get their trades out. Because remember, they took all the trades out of our schools back in the set, and when they did that, I feel like that's what a lot of this stuff is going downhill.
Yeah, facts.
And then you see it through the Reaganomics in the 80s, the no child left. Then Clinton has his provisions of education. The Bush no child, and the real damage I feel like is that no child left behind. I think that did us more harm than good. Like that race to the top, Common Core. What kind of education are you getting? And they're just continuing the same thing. But we also need a stronger teaching percentage. We need these teachers that know this stuff. We lack that. We don't even talk about that. The importance to get black male scholars and black female scholars too.
Yeah, hey Ben, and by the way, this brother Coco came on here. This brother is a genius, you know what I'm saying? I would call him a scholar, you know what I'm saying? So
Coco, you want to comment a little bit here?
Hey, greetings, everyone. Yeah, I was listening to Ben speak, and I was nodding my head because one of the things we don't realize is the connection between science and commerce. When we're talking about being powerful people and having nations, we have to be able to connect science with commerce. Farming and all that is fine. In fact, farming is still a part of science too. But we have to be able to connect those things. And so one of the things I heard Ben just say a few minutes ago is like, we don't understand, and we don't have the proper trainers, the proper teachers, I think, to get across the notion that math is fundamental to science. It's fundamental to technology. And the better you are at it, chances are the better you'll be at technology. I teach microbiology, and I constantly try to tell these college students that you got to connect all the dots, and to really be good in biology, you have to first have a good command of math. And it's a process, but the reason why it's so poorly taught, especially in our community, is because the powers that be, our enemies, know that if we get that good fundamentals in math, there's no stopping us, especially in mass. There's no stopping us in building, nations and whatnot. This is why, it becomes a big deal. You see a black person graduate from a college in physics or something like that, and it's a huge deal for them because they're going to take that person and put that person to work for their endeavor, and that means that that person or persons are not available for our endeavors. So yeah, I feel Ben on this. We do have to work on this African centered curriculum type thing, and we got to get African centered teachers and parents and whatnot. A good book is the book Nation Building, which I read on my program. We got to get all these people, in line, and then we have a chance of doing something. So I'm happy to see there's someone out here who's doing that on a technology level, and hopefully we can, in fact, I'll invite Ben to join the Discord that I have. The Discord that I have, the Discord server, it was intended or is intended for building an African-centered curriculum and stuff. So you're welcome to join. Let's do some work together if you don't mind.
Yes.
And forgive me for how I sound, by the way. I'm still dealing with COVID.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Yeah, so I agree with that because that's gonna be a major factor. But you also have to consider the African population. Look how much the African population is growing, And that's not even discussed. How do we cultivate? And it has the youngest population on the in the world, youngest. So that also a big foundation of that is also your birth rate. When you have a low birth rate in a country, how are you going to get a generation to start getting the teachers, getting the educators? It's important. That is why we all talk about the family structure, because the family is important. Until that foundation is taught, none of this can be implemented, because they want to implement apps. Some of them want to implement these apps. Okay, great. It's good technology. You're doing it through different, you're doing it through mechanism of their, even you use their stuff that you manufacture, which is fine. I want to make sure we own it. I want to see more people own it. And that's what I'm trying to get everybody at. So the important is manufacturing science. And here's Robert Carr. Cocoa is the first I heard to use agriculture and science together. I looked it up as an agricultural science, and we need to know the science to become a farmer. Absolutely. This is where we gotta go. Because I'm more on the math side, but because I did a lot of math. So I think my math goes up to statistics. So I just gotta refresh some of the stuff that I learned when I was in school, and kind of and advance it better, so that I know how to teach it. So I use So in my math, I use technology problems. So say, okay, what is this product? So you use headphones or speakers, and I put it in, find it in light terms, or find it in the equation, find it into graphs. That's all that. That's gonna be that's the technology math thinking that we're gonna have to have. And that's the difference of this whole thing. And that conversation is so failed to be taught. It's so failed not. It's not even a conversation, and it is really, really lacking. And especially in the mainstream black tech organization, when it comes to the black tech, there are good people in the local chapters, but the national black tech leaders have been selling us out, and they're not really talking about proficiency in maths and sciences. They're not really cracking down on it, or even having the proper discussions that need to be done.
Yeah, absolutely. And so yeah, but before Ben continue his program, Coco, you want to go in?
Well, um, I'll say this. I'll say that Bakari mentioned no one he hadn't heard anyone put those two things together, and that's that's the issue that we have. We're still, as black folks worldwide, we're still on the original sciences, so to speak. Oni has this saying when he had his organization, he said was to strategize, technologize. Like you have to increase your technology now. If you're going to compete, if you're going to be able to provide for your people, protect them, you have to strategize and technologize. That's a fact. And a lot of us are afraid of modernity. If you listen around some of these YouTube channels, you'll hear folks are afraid of modernizing because they feel that it'll take away from our traditional African concept. But I disagree. I think two things can be true at once. I think we can do both. But we definitely need to, just the idea like that in many black countries, black nations, we still do slash and burn farming, for example, right? We know slash and burn, and while it's convenient, we know it isn't as efficient as we need it to be. Um, we got to get on that, and again, like I said earlier, because they made us afraid of learning. Remember, learning was illegal for us at one time. So what do you expect math to be for us, right? And the problem is our people who are in the know, the people who interface with these with the bare sciences and how the sciences are actually utilized in societies. They know to themselves that math is super important, but they've given up or sold out or whatever it is, and they pretend that black folks just can't learn math. But we have guys like Robin Walker and them who have books out here on how to teach the black child mathematics and how to teach to the black child. Period. Um, we got to just get serious, roll up our sleeves. But again, it takes those of us who know better, whether you have all the tools, um, to do the work completely, or if you have to join forces. But it takes those of us who know better to do better. And I'll leave it at that. I just want to point out too, because this affects forecasts for the Bakari, Casidra, and all of us. the all of these shows are part of a podcast network, and I just recently got the website done for it. We have to upload the episodes, but the website is done. It's a pretty simple website now, but we have more things that we could do in the future. So if you guys are interested in checking it out, it's www.kwazradio, one word, kwazradio.com. You guys check it out and let me know what you think of it so far. And if you don't mind, if you guys who listen to podcasts on podcast apps like Castbox and Spotify and all that, check us out on those platforms as well. Thanks.
Hey, Coco, and you are
Yeah.
moderator, so you could put your the Discord and the website and everything you want to put in the chat, if you want to.
Okay, I'll drop that there for y'all. All right.
Yeah.
All
All right. So before Ben get into it, let me show y'all this, and then so Ben can keep going because I know we don't got that much time left. All right. So let me see here. All right. All right. So honoring Black leaders in tech, what I'm saying? There's a lot of people here, something going on with my mouse right now where it's not showing. But okay, so hold on. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with my computer right now. It's stalling out on me. Hold on, let me
I think StreamYard has been acting funny the last few weeks, to be honest. I think when we think it's our computers, I think it's StreamYard not doing something correct.
yeah, because it's not even letting me stop the share right now.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah, it's StreamYard. It's not. I doubt it's your computer.
Yeah. But anyway, I can still like go down or whatever. But these are just black people who have done things. It's hard to show right now because I can't. So hold on, let me try this.
Go ahead. Finish talking. Let me So this is all very important information that a lot of people need to start understanding. Is look at all that brother. Remember, if you guys heard about that brother that built that TV in Africa, that Zimbabwe, where
Yeah.
they built the TV, and that's the kind of mindset he has. Is a manufacturing mindset. We have to understand like manufactured science. So I'm gonna play. I got a clip here. I'm gonna play for you guys coming up here. Okay. Show you guys some of the math that I did. So get ready for the clip. Here's a clip here.
Okay.
Let's doing this.
All right, there you go.
This is from back. This is back from August. Okay. I'm gonna use it.
Hey, I can't hear it, man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we're playing it, but I can't hear.
Okay, okay. I'm gonna just go off of what I'm saying that. So what I did this show, I did that thing back in August. So when I was talking about our presentation, showing you the computer drive presentation, showing people how black tech really what I think the learning is. It's not just learning about programming and stuff. It's all about getting down to the fundamentals, like I've been talking about here today. And those are some of the most important things people have to understand. So, and it's you gotta figure out when we have something positive, you have to ask yourself, why don't the media promote that heavily? Because I went after numerous podcasts. You guys are I said you guys are the biggest voices. You said you promote black businesses. Let me ask you a question. If you're a black business, why is Rain Power not wrong? You might blah blah blah. But why was there no free? Why did you not give a promotion to them? You probably knew about Black Tech Talent's show. You didn't give a you didn't you didn't you didn't do a promotion. You just say, hey, they got their community fest. They have a tech fest for your kids. You come out and learn technology. The ones that I feel, the ones that have an influence, I think we have the most issues with. So that's what's kind of important too. Also, people have to understand. Every time when I see these other black folks that in technology do interviews, I'm gonna ask you, why does I never see a Keith Ellison come up there? I don't see Lacey Johnson. I don't see CC Davis actually sitting down and having a real conversation with black tech professionals. If you say you're really for black tech, and I know there were some black tech professionals who went to go see Keith Ellison, I want to ask it, even I respect some of them, and I have my issues with. You guys have a good platform, but here's my question. What are the specific tangibles for black people in technology? I'm not worried about no people of color, no Asians, no. I want specifically for black tech professionals and entrepreneurs. What's your plan? Anybody want to comment?
Coco, you want to comment? I'll comment.
I'll say this. My focus is on the education part and getting the knowledge to our youth, right? Beyond that, my idea from the education is to have incubators to incubate these ideas and hopefully to be able to raise capital to put behind some of these ideas. But first things first, for me at least, because of where my passion project lies, I'm more on the education side. So one of the things I would like to learn is what are the coding languages, because that changes every few years. What are the key coding languages if you're trying to talk about pushing forward and pushing deeper into this tech thing, and making tech work for your people group? Like, what are the languages? How can we get those, that education of those languages to our youth? When do we begin? How do we begin? Like, what's the pedagogy towards getting them to learn this stuff to become the next, technologists or what have you in our society? So that's where I am with it. If I could learn more about that, it would be appreciated. I'll pass the mic.
Okay, yeah, and that's a great answer, Coco. And my thing is, for me, some people will look at me like I'm pessimistic. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be difficult unless it be a crazy event. You know what I'm saying? For people have to realize, you know what I'm saying, they're going to have to rely on, you know what I'm saying, because we're so comfortable, we don't realize the technology that we have. And the only hope that you will be able to have is to start taking over our curriculum. Because like I was just doing a show about how Steve Bannon was like, yo, we're going to focus on the school boards throughout America. And just in Texas, they put like $600,000 into the school board. You know what I'm saying? so they can control the curriculums. And that's the issue. We're going to have to put our time, money, energy, effort if we're going to send them to their schools. We're going to have to put in dedicated effort to teach them, start with the basics, getting them literate, because Bakari was just talking about it earlier, somebody was talking about it earlier, how so many Black people are just illiterate, can't even just like read on a comprehension level, So in order for us to get to that level, you're going to have to like start with the kids from like kindergarten on. And the only way to do that is to actually get out there and to fight. And if you're going to have your kids in schools, to be on parts of the school board. And and that's why I like platforms. We could get Ben on here to because I didn't know about that channel, that website you showed me, that's like the Black YouTube earlier. I didn't know about that one, or some of the brothers you was naming earlier. So of course mine isn't as big, and I get blacklisted, of course, what I'm saying. But and the bottom line is, more people will be listening to us if we was on here arguing about what is Black rather than talking about technology. But you see, I choose that we talk about the things that we're going to need as a society. So, that's why I can appreciate y'all when it comes to this. But yeah.
Yeah, so when I am on Fanbase, and I do go on Fanbase still, there's a Black woman that her name is and travel coach. So she has conversations mainly on politics. We talk about technology. I was telling her one time, when we talk about Africa and going into that, I gotta ask the question: you have African nations currently at this point still testing you for COVID, but then European nations, you don't have to be tested, but then you have to be tested to enter their countries. Makes absolute no sense. You already got kids getting respiratory issues. Oh, well, what did that all come from? What did that came from? And when we talk about math and sciences, and that's where we're gonna go. Let's go through that next. Let's go. What's that topic 2 again?
Topic 2 is, let me see right here. It's math and science innovation.
Yeah, and that's what's really. This is where we're gonna talk about COVID and science first, and then we're gonna go into that. The important thing you gotta understand is how many Black doctors are gonna really right now. If we have so many Black nurses, doctors, we got to get them on, talk about the importance of sciences and math and learning this stuff. Because we're going to have an issue where we're going to have our children are going to have massive respiratory problems. And you're starting to see that. I have nobody on Black YouTube talk about none of the respiratory problems that the kids are having. This is our children. Having massive respiratory problems. Because everybody was wearing those stupid ass masks. Those masks don't help. And again, this is the kind of science we need to understand: health science, earth science, life sciences. There's like biology, chemistry, physics, and physics. All that ties into Black tech. That's all ties into technology. Because you have to know the life cycles. You're gonna have to know the earth and how the resources and the minerals. We have to know that stuff. Basic life sciences, earth science, and health are going to be one of the big things we're going to have to learn.
I'll just interject here. I think what we don't understand is most people don't understand those things that you listed off, to be honest. I'm talking about Black, white, in between. Most people don't bother. The problem is that we're in a situation where we have to take those things into consideration. We're not a part of the dominant society, and we just can't coast. But for some reason, we have been made to think like we are part of the dominant society and we can coast. See, their people can coast. They're rednecks and all that kind of stuff. They can coast because their skin is white. They believe in whiteness, and the powers that be we'll do enough to kind of bring them along and make them feel that inclusiveness, so that, to keep them lulled, to keep them kind of asleep, right? But we as a people who need to strive for something, we have to start working on habits. When Marcus Garvey had the UNIA, one of the things, you could read this in Message to the People, right? Um, he talks about certain habits you must form. One of them is a habit that I like to. In fact, this is how I got into this whole idea of the podcast network and stuff. One of my things is, Garvey says, have a library in your house. Have an area in your house called a library where your books are. And in that area, now remember, Garvey was talking about this 100 years ago. So Garvey says, have a radio in your library and listen to programs, right? That build you up, so to speak, right? That build you up personally, psychologically, etc. And so that's the things we have to do. We have to commit to a set of habits. What are we going to do for our people to give them these habits? One of the habits we need to set aside is, you got to start taking in information from people who have the information that you don't. It's plain and simple. Just listen to people who are knowledgeable. I'm not talking about people necessarily with degrees per se, but people who have knowledge that you can take that knowledge and apply it to something, right now. We don't have that. What habit do you see Black folks in mass have, where they sit down, they listen to, sensible conversations? That's not happening. So when you talk about Forecast and Bakari, Team Black, I saw Guy Nollywood on Bakari earlier. You guys mentioned MG2 and all these other folks, right? Folks on KWAZ Radio, right? Oni and the like. Like, if our people had this habit of sitting down and taking and consuming information from outside of themselves, information that will build them up, every one of these folks I just mentioned just now, including Ben, of course, the Forecast, everyone will be known in terms of as a source of, hey, I can go to Brother Bakari on Sunday, and I could listen to Mind My Black Business. I could learn about some Black businesses, or I could tune into Casidra. She's in West Africa right now, different parts of West Africa. I could tune in and pick up some at least see the continent. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are the things that we don't particularly do, and I think that's where we have to begin. I'll pass the mic on that.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. This is going to have to begin, because we're going to be in a situation now when we speak about this, and this is what should have been really done if we were really focused. And news-wise, you guys heard about DACA? They're talking about making 11 million illegal immigrants legal citizens. But folks, get ready for your jobs to be gone. Get ready for all that. So the important thing is, Black, we should be in these areas. We should be thinking about things like building their resumes, building all this stuff, building their skills, their hobbies. Gotta have creative things in their mind. We also have to, in the math and science, we also the big component, we have to start building our own version of math and science groups in the schools. We have to make this cool. We have to make this cool. We don't have to make it for everybody, but we have to make it say, yo, we got to be different. We all want to be the same. We got to be different. Everybody, like in Black tech, we always people want to do software and software. We never get to the components of the hardware, because the hardware is like a big component. It's made out of something. People have to use math skills to build a battery. People have to use math skills to build a laptop, measurements. This stuff is all going to be important.
that calls into another thing too, which is um the reverse engineering of things.
Oh,
We
absolutely.
we might not we might, while we're working to be able to have that genius, so to speak, to create these new things. We also should be taking apart what's been done already. I mean, some of these Asian companies made their bones on that, right? We need to be breaking down some of these things and understanding it. Another thing I'll throw in there too, and I mentioned this before, and I haven't even really looked into it heavy now for a while now, but it's something to look into. There's a thing. I got my kids into it early on, and I didn't keep up with it. But there's this thing called the $5 computer. Uh, I'm sure Ben probably knows what I'm talking about. It's the Arduino series of like these. Basically they're computers, right?
Raspberry
Uh,
Pis.
yeah, the Raspberry Pi. Did I say
Yep.
Arduino? I meant the Raspberry Pi. Yes, the
Yep, I know
Raspberry.
about those. I used to
You
do
know,
that because I was first introduced to that when I was at this guy. It was this white dude named Eric Level. He's
uh-huh.
he's like an engineer. He's like a genius. So he taught me like almost all what to do. So he taught me
You see?
all. I'm not saying I'm not excusing black folks because there are plenty of black folks that taught me stuff too.
Yeah,
Like I told you that website. Like Mike Jackson showed me, okay, this is how you build. This is what he did. He showed me, and then I pursued it and built the vision. But I built it in a better vision because I filled the gaps that, okay, he's got the idea, but I'm going to fill what he doesn't get in, what I think I need to do. Like the math and sciences and the innovation. Have it in a weekly conversation because the more shows I do on Facebook with Zone Media Enterprise, which I have to move those on to YouTube or something, the more I do, the more we're going to be educated more. That's all that, and that's what's important too, because also we also need trades, technology trades, because not everyone's going to know like heavy math, but you're going to know you need someone to be builders. Go up there, build me a
absolutely.
network. Go up there and do go up there and build me like a big massive data center. How do you manage that data? How are you going to manage from an infrastructure? You got to understand infrastructure because we don't have a lot of us, but that's on purpose. That's on purpose. That's by design. They want to keep you out of these math, sciences, and trades. Period. And that's what the big conversation is not happening. I know I've been having them. I've been putting them all on Facebook. I've been putting my shows out there. And I will give that forecast to of the Facebook shows. But eventually I am going to move those to YouTube so you guys will be able to hear them.
Yeah, absolutely. Man, see, that's why I appreciate y'all brothers for coming on here spreading this knowledge. Go ahead and finish what you were saying, Koku.
No. I apologize. I for some reason I keep getting these two things crossed, but they're two very important tools. I'll put it out there for you guys. You heard Ben say he was familiar with the Raspberry Pi.
Yeah,
That's the
Raspberry
$5
Pi.
computer.
Yep.
And then there's the Arduino. The Arduino is when you start getting into circuits, electronics. You start getting into some programming because this is how people build these rudimentary robots and stuff with these Arduinos and whatnot, bread boxes and all that. And so, the thing is we have to, and Ben said something about it that's very interesting. I agree 100%. We got to start making this stuff cool. It has to be cool. The thing I believe about black folks is that we would get into something, right? If it's not just about sitting down and learning, off of a chalkboard or something, but if it's also hands-on, and if it's also at the end of this week or 2 weeks or a month or whatever, there's a product in our hand. We just built a computer, for example, right? I think that's where our kids will be more responsive, will be more interested. I mentioned agriculture and science earlier. Some of these same things I'm talking about, Raspberry Pis and Arduinos and whatnot, these things are being used to measure the humidity of plants and keep plants on track for how much water they need. And you know what I mean? And like Ben mentioned, like this big data thing. What are you gonna do with the numbers that you collect, right? Or, this data. So all of these things we need to really sit down. This is what we really need to do. Real talk. We need to have a group called Nation Builders or something. We need to sit down and figure out what are the kinds of folks we need to have. I know Oni did do something like that from the pro-black perspective, so maybe I'll hit Oni up on that again. But there's certain areas that you have to study, and a couple of them is engineering fields, to be honest, right? And we need to sit down and figure out, where do we start if we wanted to create a human being who 25 years from now, because sometimes you have to think like that. We want to create these human beings who could be the masters of these subjects, who can oversee projects in terms of nation building. What do we need to do today to get those people 25 years from now? And it's a shame that we haven't really done that before. At least in general Black society. Maybe they've done it in Boule societies and whatnot, but we haven't really done it on a grassroots level. Choose these handful of kids today and put them through the rigors of learning what needs to be learned, right? And also put teachers through the rigors of being able to teach this stuff to get through to our children, because that's another thing too. We tend to use these cookie cutter approaches that are European and every other kind of peen that has nothing to do with us, and not realizing that the European education system was made to filter out the majority of their people. They made that for that purpose. What do you think is going to do to us? So we got to come up with something that when we finish in 25 years, we're supposed to have the human beings with the knowledge to do what it takes to get this stuff done. So I'll say that, Ben, if that's what you're doing, you mentioned your show a couple of times. I'm not familiar with it, but I will check it out.
It's on Facebook. It's called the Black Type Building. It's also on Anchor. I can put the link down. So I'll put the link down for you in the private. You guys can take a look at some of the shows. But I have the newer shows up on Facebook. But there are gonna be. But these are the shows that I made, so you get an idea of the conversations and the topics that I brought up. And they're gonna be more. They're gonna be more conversations. Like we're gonna go more in depth talking about some of the stuff we did today. More in depth. We're gonna talk about the need of black tech. Black tech. I call it black tech. I'll call it black, like the black scholarships in maths, sciences, and engineering of STEM teacher, black STEM. So I'm gonna focus on black STEMs completely.
Yeah. And too, let me say this too. So what Coco was saying, and it's just like it's making learning fun, not just like understanding this is because it is fun once you learn that how you could be effective. Like if I was in class learning how I could do something electrically and then I made a video game or I made a ball with a laser on it, I'd be like, yo, this is good. And then on the second hand, like you said, like training them for the future, like you could be teaching them how to make things that are fun, but also is something that's training them to like almost like war games, like it's fun to play capture the flag, but you learning how to use military strategy while you're doing it. So like you could just use simple things in class, like where we have electricity experiments. I know that was fun to me. It appealed to me. I think it needs to be hands-on so kids can see the actual real world effects instead of just sitting there learning in books, and of course, like we get old books and the teachers aren't hands-on. They don't tell you everything. It's like when I went to like a welding class, like all them white kids knew how to weld since they were like 2 years old, and the teacher was a redneck white boy. He wasn't going to teach me and my boy how to do it, and this is our first time ever trying, but they already knew the aspects of it. And that's where our kids is at. They're going to schools where they have like funding and all of that, and our kids are behind where We just learning how to use a welding tool, you know what I'm saying? But if we would have knew how fun welding is, you know, we would be building buildings right now making like $200 an hour. You know what I mean? So
Absolutely, absolutely. And then another factor is that also kills it is the way that the schools don't allow people to go in even during the day. You know how very despicable and disgusting that actually is when you can't even go into you can't even go into school. Say, you know what, I'm a good person. Say, yeah, you can check my background, you can check what I do, and say, you know, I do all this, but there's lots of loops they put you through. Is that, make sure, okay, and I understand you want to keep the kids safe, but still, this is our community. This is our community. We have to take in charge. So those black scholars, I'm gonna say this: we gotta be strong and say, you know, we're gonna take charge. You want the behaviors first to be corrected in the schools, the ones that don't have parents and don't have kids, that don't have fathers. Let us do it. It shouldn't be these self-appointed organizations that do absolutely not fucking one thing for this community, not one. You say you want to pursue all this stuff, but you're not really doing it. You're not really doing it. I'm just the think tank. I'm just the one that's getting the ideas, bringing the ideas to the table, bringing things to think. Because that's what I want. I want this a yearly thing, where we really show people, okay, these are the conversations I have. This is the stuff I talked about. Even there's tech traumas that go around that. I want to see what are you missing out. The goal and the goal really is gonna be the big thing when you go into math and sciences is definitely the scholars. We gotta get the scholars because let's just focus on that because the scholars are gonna be really, very key. We need to have strong male strong for our young boys. It's very important. Very important. Females too. Strong feminine. When I mean feminine, not feminism. I mean ones that feminine that are married with children, same thing with brothers. The ones that can get us strong. That can learn lessons that they could have had when they were younger. That's what's going to be important. So the scholarship is going to be very, very key. So I'm not saying the same thing, but some things are new. But there's more things that are involved in the conversations. Showing you the math problems, showing you how using technology parts and make them into math problems. That's what we gotta be learning. We gotta normalize this. Because until we do that, this whole community doesn't change at all. Doesn't change at all. And that's why I said the self-important leaders that we have, these so-called leaders we have comes from our city, these Negroes that come from our city councils, that comes from the school boards, that come from any of the teachers that don't say nothing about proficiency, because there are black teachers that have not gone there and correct any of these proficiency rates in the schools and don't say anything. You're part of the problem. You're part of the problem because why are you teaching? Why you're in the school teaching those kids? You should be correcting it.
yeah. And see if Koku got something to say before we go to the other topic. I know it's counting down on the time. You want to jump in there, Koku?
No, I agree with everything Ben just said. Like I said, I'm gonna check out your show. I'm gonna probably try to hit you up as well. To do some things. I put it in the chat earlier, join the Discord link and all that stuff. So, I appreciate that forecast. I have the show later tonight. I'm gonna go lay down a little bit because I'm still recovering from this COVID stuff. But thanks for having me on. I hope that we all can get involved together.
Oh, sorry about that having COVID. You didn't take the vaccine, right?
No.
Good. No.
And yeah, so it's hit me pretty hard. But yeah, hopefully we could work together soon enough and get some real tangible stuff put out there. Like I said, I'm big on the instructionables that they have, where we could put some things together, images, words, along with what the tools are, what items you need. You need the Raspberry Pi, you need this other little kit or whatever, and with that, our kids, even if we don't have them in a school per se, but at home, if we have African-centered parents, we could have the children at home go through these instructables and build these things, work on water. We see the problem still persisting in I think it's Jackson, Mississippi, and in Flint, Michigan. There's bad water stuff. If our people were studying and educating, not just starting now, but from before, we could have come around and circumvent and help ourselves instead of waiting for these governments and whatnot to come through and fix these problems. So I think it's something that we should really sit down and talk about. I'm gonna go in the chat and listen while I set up the show tonight and lay down a bit. But good talking to both of you. I look forward to us doing some stuff in the future. All right.
Yeah, here's one thing. I have the links in the links in the private chat. Forecast, you can put them out for me.
Yeah, I'll put them out. I appreciate it, Coco, and yeah, y'all check out the Bitter Medicine podcast tonight. Shoot the breeze, at tonight at 8:00 East Coast time. I'm definitely gonna be in the building. So shouts out to you, Coco, and maybe you and Ben. I'm pretty sure y'all goals was like intersectional. You know what I'm saying? So.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna if I can stay up, I'm probably gonna listen in. I might talk a little bit. I'm gonna let them talk, and then I'm gonna probably pop in and have these conversations because it's gonna be very, very important and key right there. So did you put the black text stuff in the private chat?
Yeah, I put it in the public chat for you.
Okay.
So I got it in there. So if y'all want to subscribe to him, I'm gonna put Coco channel in the chat, so y'all can definitely subscribe to that tonight. Y'all want to tune in. So I appreciate you, Coco, for real. So that was good information you put out there. So I appreciate it, my brother.
No problem, man. I'll see y'all later. All right.
All right, and I hope you feel better, my brother.
Thanks. Peace.
All right. So Ben, I'm not sure if we was done with the math and science, but we also have the importance of preserving Black tech history in the modern day.
Yep, let me finish up this a little bit, and then we're gonna get into.
Okay.
Let me just get my Instagram page up, so you guys can have that. Where you guys can have that in here. Where I show you guys the fixing of the computers. I'm gonna show you some pictures this week, like the research and the development and stuff. It's gonna be a lot of things that's gonna be very important about Black tech. So I'm very, very much excited for all of this. So one of the things that I am gonna say that it really relates us, and I'm gonna go back to those so-called activist leaders again. They're not going to show, like, for example, innovation quickly, fan base. That's Black tech media. There's a reason why all the censorship keeps going on. We can't even fight the censorship and all these intellectual properties. We can't even get those back because we're not preserving things that are very important to us. And that dives into the next topic, the final topic here, which is called. Tell them again, forecast.
The next topic is called the importance of preserving Black tech history in the modern day.
Oh, very, very important show. And we're gonna do another one next. We're gonna do another one next week. We're gonna do another show probably next week. So I might email you this week if you're available. We're gonna do another one.
Yeah, for sure.
We're gonna do. The importance is you gotta understand. We have a lot of Black tech inventors that have been in the past, like the guy that created the video game. You got, and that's what I got here right now. So let me just pull this information to you all. You got all these names that are very, very important.
All right, it's up now.
So we got a lot of names. So I'm going to, these are some of the biggest things. So Roy Clay Sr. Roy Clay Sr. is the godfather of Silicon Valley, and he has a very successful computer program and science career like Dorothy Vin. He has begun coding using Fortran during the civil rights era. After his work, he became widely spread. HP recruited him for his computer development business and helped him bring us the original HP computer, the 2116A, to the market in 1966. You see, look at that, and this is the biggest problem. We have the people, and we know the history of the people, but we gotta understand it's great. We gotta acknowledge it, but the big thing is we gotta tell the story ourselves. We got to. We got to start telling the story. Another one I want to talk about. Look at remember the guy that created Dr. Dean Martin. Dr. Dean Martin joined IBM in 1980 as soon as part of the tech developing a revolutionary IBM PC 5150 released in 1981. As part of the project, he co-created the PC ISA bus, and he is named on 3 of the 9 original patents that define a foundation of IBM PC technology. For his numerous achievements at IBM, the firm named Dean and IBM fell in 1995, one of only 50 active and the first African American honored. In 1999, Dean led a group of IBM to create a 1 gigahertz CPU. Can you? So I'm gonna give you this whole link to you guys, because this is gonna also be. I want you to see this. It's gonna be very important. So you got. I want everybody to read on that today. So that's. I might do more. Let's continue. Remember the guy from the Super Soccer forecast?
Yeah, I remember.
Yep, he's a very important factor. Here's another one. Lutheran Arthur Hendrick, polymath pilot racer, inventor, engineer. Lucian Hendrick was one of the first avalanchers and an inventor for astronautic patents cited for modern place equipment today. So this is very, very important. So he was born in Calvary, North Carolina in 1879. Lutheran halted from a line of tradespeople from his mid-30s. He already became a pilot and inventor. He spent multiple years flying in air shows at Barstorm, a foreign entertainment, and was done as pilot, performed tricks, and even individually or in a group called flying circuses. Although he eventually settled down with his wife and found safer work means, he never started inventing. Lucan was known for 2 notable inventions. The first was the mirror system designed to hide Navy ships for German U-boat submarines. This concept was also developed by the Royal British Navy, except that the war ended before it is implemented. The Scepter is a contemporary car to the Model T4 Ford that made double the head pacer setter horsepower. At 52 years old, he immigrated to England and started an engineering firm. He lived in a township called Firmly Green until he passed away in 1957. Look at all these black tech events. We have them out here. And and it's very, very important. I want everyone to start understanding. This is all gonna be important. If these, and this is the important thing, what we got to talk about also is media. It's the imagery. Why do we have problems with ADOS? Why do we have problems with FBA? Why do we have problems with all these organizations? Then, and if you were representing them, why are they not Team Black? I want you to think about that. I tell you why, because their leaders are not Team Black. I'm not saying I love ADOS people and FBA people. They're good people. It's just the leaders. The leaders are no different than the corrupt Democrats and the Republicans. They're not leaders. They're followers, and they just want to do whatever the system tells them. So, Forecast, you have another link that you can put down there too.
I put it in the chat. You talking about the innovators for tech and science?
Yep.
Yeah, I put it in the chat.
Oh, that's great, great. So we're all on the roll here. So the important thing is we got to write that history. It's time that we got to be the writers, and this is the one that another area we need is black, real black tech journalism and writers and bloggers that are actually not just going to write about celebrities all the time. They got to write something tangible and knowledgeable. We need that's that knowledge that we need. Till we see that, there's nothing going to change. And that's what's important there. So we got to start telling the past history and the present history. We got to tell the story. And we also got to, if we want to do that, we also need to start making the movies and tell the real story, not from Hollywood, but the way where the real story needs to be told. So research and development is very important. That's what's strong. That's what's going to keep us stronger. So that's what pretty much sums it all up there.
Yeah, so Ben, hey, let me try this one more time to show you something before we wrap it up here, because it'd be a nice show right here. Can you see this?
Yeah.
All right, black owned tech companies. This one's supposed to be a $3 billion with a valuation of $3 billion. Candidly is one of the world's first black owned tech unicorns, it says. So I'm not sure if you heard of any of these, but these are some startups they're saying you should watch for. That's supposed to be black owned, just a few. Like there's one in UK though.
But they also get money from white venture capitalists, and that's another thing we don't do. Is start getting our own, so we can start doing all the accounting and the funding.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah. And that's what a lot of these because we're not funding ourselves either, you know what I'm saying? Because they have a lot of money to throw away when they, fiddling around with how to make a hydrogen bomb. They're wasting billions of dollars to be able to do that. And we don't have that, ability, because we trying to build just the basic institutions at this point. But the only way around it that we're going to get around it, because a lot of our people fear that comfort, but the only way you're going to be able to get that comfort is to get into the tech field, find different ways to build.
And the trades.
Right, in the trades, yep. Yeah, and find different ways to create your own products, your own cell phone, and the so somebody can't just shut down your reception, you know what I'm saying? Maybe you find something that's stronger than an antenna and transmitter. Somebody in like you were saying,
or broadband network.
Right, exactly. Like was you just saying the brother and who created the thing with the TV?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, this is the point of this, you know what I'm saying? So and there's some black leaders in tech, they call, I'm not sure some of these people. So Kimberly Bryant, she got a
problematic. Yeah, that one I'm not big up on her, but I'll go through that list and we'll do that next time.
Yeah, we'll do it next time. We'll do it next time.
We're gonna go
some of the people. Yeah, I was gonna say Roy Clay, you name it. But yeah, so yeah, I just wanted to show you some of that stuff. But yeah, absolutely, my brother Ben. So yeah, you got any well, yeah, go ahead and say everything you want to say, or
yeah, I think this is very important. And it's not like the same I'm doing the same show, but it's a little bit, but it's a little bit different. There's more things I'm talking about. We're talking about like rights to repair, and most people don't know rights to repair. There's lots of things like out showing you I'm putting it in action, not really just talking about it. I'm actually putting it in shows and putting it in action. But these are the math problems we're gonna do, and I'm actually gonna do some. And one person said, I had no idea Kennedy is black on. I use that every damn day. And that's great. So lots of things been going on. So there's a lot that I did not know until I went to the Community Tech Fest. And there was lots of people out there doing all that stuff. But it's very, very important to these organizations. So we want to give us, before we all wrap it up, I'm going to shout out to some of the black tech organizations here in Minnesota. So we got to shout out to Rankpire, shout out to GoK. Those are two black owned gaming companies. Shout out to the brother of Cole White. Shout out to the brother that done all that stuff. Please support these black tech businesses this winter. Black tech talent. Go out there and support. It's going to be very, very important to get out there and support these strong black tech organizations. And there's going to be I can't remember. And also I have a school here. Let me pull this up real quick, okay? Also
Yeah.
let me show you this, okay?
Yeah, you go ahead.
Now I gotta get going, but there's a school called IT Metrobonics. This is another school that.
All right, it's showing.
Shout out to Smart North, Tano's company, Aricia Media. It's black owned here. So I'm gonna show you this real quick. Metro Hub. So I got here. See, he's the founder of it right here. I think he's from Somalia. Yeah, he's from Somalia. So please go out here and support these brothers. I'm gonna put that in the chat, okay?
All right, that's cool.
Hey, it's a lot of people. It's a lot of black tech I have here. It's just gotta hold up and go into some of the key players. Also, there's the brother. He also owns this company here. He's a creative marketer for it, but he also has his own company. I gotta find out what it is. Yep, right here. So, yeah, so yeah, I hope. And I mean, he also. So that's him. So he's like the marketing director for this. There's another person. I showed you now, so I gotta show you a sister who also does black tech, but this is also does career stuff too. She's like a career coach, and she. See, a lot of people don't know all this stuff. Just giving it out to you, forecast.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I'll put it all in the chat.
Yep, I'm just. So I gotta. Yeah, he doesn't live in Minnesota, but this is the guy created this Web3 stuff right here too. So shout out to this group called Craft the Future. So look this organization up, guys. No, that's the wrong one. I got the wrong one. Okay. So he does. So he's on. So that's what he runs. So support that. What else? What else do we? Oh, I have to give that to you in email forecast if I have a chance to find it.
Yeah, it's all good. We can cause yeah, we'll come back and do the rest later. I know we'll have everything more set up next time too. But I think this was a real good show, maybe we should have had Koku come on here and cuss you out so people could have, been interested in listening. But nah, shouts out to everybody who was in here though, for real. So but yeah, this
it
was
was.
a show needed, man. I'm glad you came through.
I needed to put that information out to you guys. Because it's very important. This is very important.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So yeah, man. And it's important for our kids to like really do this stuff so we can actually make moves, and because we're gonna keep saying, oh, we're not comfortable, we don't have this, we don't have that,
But I'm
Well,
giving
go
you
make
I'm giving you information.
right.
I had to go out and meet the people, go out and see the people, and see what they got going on.
Yeah. So go ahead, Ben. I know we over time now, so go ahead and give your last words, and we'll set something up for next time.
All right. Well, I'll do that in email.
All right.
Guys, it's very important, guys. Black tech is very important. We gotta understand what are we gonna we're gonna have a massive roundtable next time with me, you, Coco, MJ2. We're gonna put a real roundtable together and really get down to the foundation. What do we want? What do we like to see? What and then get everybody's perspective. Because the big thing about Black Tech is we got to be here, and we're here to win it. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, facts, Ben. Facts, and that was a great presentation. Everything you said, I agree. Um, Getting into this tech field, you know what I'm saying, is going to be important if we want to, because like that's how medicines are created, that's how entertainment is created, that's how everything you can think of you're going to need to get into technology, and most importantly to defend yourself in the things that you create and build. If we want to get back talking of, we talk about Black Wall Street, but in order to do that we have to get back to Black technology, Black information, studying, you know what I'm saying, understanding what mixing two, like, what alchemy is, mixing two things together and creating something new that you need. So shouts out to you, Ben. I appreciate you. Shouts out to Casidra. Shouts out to Koku. Make sure y'all check him out. His channel is in the chat too, so y'all do that. Shouts out to Brother Bukari. Y'all check out his live earlier. They was having an interesting discussion. Of course, my sister Raw, always, Raw is the realest, my brother Dwayne, shouts out to MD2. MD2 probably catch up and listen to this one later, I'm sure. So
I know he's gonna listen. I was trying to get on his show yesterday, so it's gonna be amazing to do all that. Because a lot of Black folks don't see it. Even I'm a big Microsoft guy, and we know the background Microsoft where all that all got into how we know Bill Gates didn't create anything. He was given Microsoft. Somebody else did. But Microsoft is like a massive. It has hubs, and look at all the technology they give to these other countries like China, Israel, Russia, and the but most of it comes from our tax dollars, and people don't understand how much money it like Israel has the massive high technology sector in the world, and that needs to be looked into.
Yeah, absolutely. India too.
And I think sometime if we are available, one of the conversations outside that we're gonna have is the lack of creativity. I will call. I think write this down. The lack of content creativity on social media, because that should be the show before we do another tech show.
Yeah, I think that's a good topic.
Because we really got to discuss the lack of topics on these shows, and we're gonna go in on everybody, and we're gonna ask you what's going on here. Where's your topics here? So we'll set up a time to do that, and we'll go through it. So I know we got a lot of show. I know Guy. Now, is he gonna have a show tonight?
I'm not sure, but yeah, go to Koku. I'm gonna put his channel in there one more time, but y'all go to Koku channel. He having his show at 8 o'clock tonight.
Oh, I'm
So
gonna pop in. Let me pop into that. See what he got cooking up tonight.
yeah, definitely. Cause he has great shows. It's on Shoot the Breeze, and there's a panel discussion. So yeah, I know y'all definitely want to be a part of that. So
Yes, let's hit it up, guys. We're gonna talk more. All right, thank you, everybody.
all right, peace, man. All right, and I appreciate all of y'all for listening. You know what I'm saying? And as always, man, we have got to start standing for something, or we're gonna keep falling for anything.